So we just need Rudy to knock him down a little bit more. I do want to ask. I do want to ask. We had kind of talked about Derrick White coming back for the one game, and I think we're probably going to be all in agreement. When it comes to this, but when he comes back, like where do you once he's fully healthy, like where do you want to see him at? I know. There's basically the two camps of like we want to see him out there playing and starting with DJ. Or I guess it would be like we want him out there starting with DJ. We want him as the starting point guard, or like we want him running the show on the bench. You know what I mean? So yeah, like Josh, I'm pretty sure we know where you stand. Go ahead and go first.
Yeah, like for the last 80 years, we've been watching Ginobili run the offense off the bench, and during pregame, Sean Elliott was talking about that, how he likes Derrick White in the Ginobili role, and I totally agree. Like you say, Rudy was Jake. You said that you couldn't be mad at Rudy for taking those 16 shots. Now looking at it, because he was the guy off the bench. Well, now Derrick's that guy, or Derrick will be that guy. So I want him to come off the bench, run the offense like y'all talk about, slow the game down for when it needs to be slowed down, and make those smart decisions and get his shots off when he needs to, or facilitate when he needs to. He's always playing defense. He's a great defender. He's only going to get better. He's still young. He's like one of our younger guys, but I mean, he's still young. So I want him to come off the bench, run that second unit. And then we talked about it too. Like whenever the game's tight, then I want him to be on the floor with the starters, with some of the starters. I guess I don't know who would be the odd man out in that situation. I'm assuming it would be Lonnie, because I would love to run DJ, Derrick with DeMar and whoever at the 4 and 5. Probably Keldon and LA, Keldon and Yak, whatever.
Keldon is in any of these situations. Keldon's like starting to earn his minutes in terms of like, who do you sit? You know what I mean? Yeah, I would. Right now, it'd probably be Keldon.
I can't wait until we don't have to play him at the power forward. Like, who knows what DeMar is going to do? I would love to keep the guy, but if he were to, leave San Antonio, like we have our small forward for the future.
Or if we find ourselves where now so we have that athletic stretch 4, now we can slide KJ over to the 3 and have still have size and all the stuff
and that's what I'm saying. If DeMar leaves and we have some cap, or we draft well or something like that, like we don't know what Lamar or LA is going to do. So that's potentially a lot of money, right? So that we could go out and get a player like that, or if we draft well, we'll see what happens. But as far as like small forward for the future, we got our guy.
Yeah, Jake, where do you stand on Derrick White once he's back?
Honestly, like kind of like what Josh was saying. Like I'd love to see Derrick be the Geno of our future, because I feel like he can do everything. He doesn't have to do everything at an all-star level. He doesn't have to do anything at a star level, but he could do everything. And like he plays great defense one-on-one. He plays like a solid playmaking role. He can score decently well. Like there's nothing that you can ask him. Like if you ask him to do something, it's not like it'll be 100% out of his comfort zone, because he does it all. And and I think that if he's off the bench with Patty, if he's off the bench with Lonnie or whoever, like I think that like those two as the guard lineups would be really good. And I'm looking at this right now, and he's not even 100% healthy, but he got 23 minutes and DJ got 30 minutes, right? Like, if that means that our point guard is locked in 48 minutes from DJ to Derrick, I'm happy. Like I can't be upset at that at all. And then like if like at the end of the day, now Derrick's getting 26 minutes and DJ's getting 26 minutes because they're both just closing out the end of the game. Like I wouldn't be upset at that either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, Jake. I'll slide you out real quick so you can grab whatever. But yeah, I would agree. As much as I you want to see your players like get as many, have successful careers and get as many minutes as possible, and you want them to get as much shine as possible. I hope that we take the approach of like we have the opportunity, kind of like Jake was just saying, we have the opportunity to have a very smart point guard running our offense for 48 minutes every night if we spread DJ and Derrick White out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
we talked about this. Me and Jacob did, right. In the Lakers rotations, it's like I think it was either or, right? So LeBron and AD would start, and then one of them would get their rest, and then as soon as the other, like let's just say AD sat on the bench, and as soon as AD was set to come back in, then LeBron would get off the floor. So they had one of those guys on the floor at all times. Yeah. And me and Jake talked about that. Like that's how we want Derrick and DeJounte to be. We want one of them on the floor always.
Yeah, and
then together as well,
And then if for whatever reason, like if for whatever reason the starters are doing their thing, but maybe like DJ is struggling, or maybe we just kind of like want to like give them a different look or something like that, then maybe you run the starting unit, but you swap them or whatever like that, and just give like the defense something that they haven't seen before. Because I mean, Derrick and DJ kind of do a lot of things similar, but they're different players. You know what I mean?
Big time.
So, but I would love to see Derrick on the bench, because I think again we were talking about like Patty Mills getting. I would love if Patty can be out there with Derrick. Derrick will make sure Patty gets 10 shots a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And putting him in good positions, and maybe that'll help with Rudy's field goal percentage and not having to like work so hard for his own shot, but just working so hard like with the ball in his hand for his own shot.
Yeah,
but, you know what I mean?
And Devin, right? We talked about where was Derrick's minutes going to come from. Well, Devin didn't play at all.
Yeah, at all.
So whenever we get that situated, minutes wise, where is Devin going to fit in? That'll be a good addition to come off the bench with Derrick as well. Have both of them coming off. Those are two big, long defenders. And Devin's shown that he's not afraid to shoot that three either. So if he's kicking out to Devin and he starts knocking them down, that's great too.
Yeah, and I think there's been 2 games where his first field goal of the game has been the 3-pointer. Right. That's where a lot of his opportunities are going to come from.
Right. And then that first LA game was in a crunch. It was late in the game whenever he knocked down that 3 on the wing. It was late. It was late in the game, and he brought us. I think he took the lead like into single digits with that 3. So.
Yeah, I like that. There was somebody like at the top, kind of like waiting for the passes too. If he gave it up, but he just shot it right.
Yeah, so I like that he's not afraid to take that shot at that moment, rather than just to look around and let me get this ball in my hands.
Yeah, and also we had kind of talked a little bit about like Lonnie being just being a little timid and still trying to figure some stuff out. So I just think that the more if you can have Derrick White out there, Derrick White takes away a lot of that responsibility in terms of the decision making. So now if you're Lonnie, do what you do best. Use your athletic abilities to get you in the right spots. To find a good lane to make a good cut, and Derrick will find you. You know what I mean, or like those kind of things. So, I would agree. I think we're all in agreement that we would like to see Derrick, and it would help our depth. It would help our overall, just like how we function.